With 2024 coming to an end, what better way to celebrate than a fireworks show? In this tutorial, I'll break down this effect into 4 parts. First, the rocket, then the rocket's trail, third, my favorite part, the flowery explosion, and then finishing it off with the trails of that explosion. Let's jump right in. Go ahead and open up your content browser and right-click to create a new Niagara system. Type in minimal if you're in 5.5. If you're in something previous, you can use an empty emitter. Go ahead and hit create, and then let's rename this NS_fireworks. Double-click to open it, and let's name this emitter by selecting it and hitting F2, and I'm going to call it rocket. Let's add some particles. Under emitter update, hit the plus button and select spawn rate. Give the spawn rate a value of 1. Now we have a particle. Let's add some movement to this. So under particle spawn, hit the plus button and add velocity. We're getting this error here. We need to hit fix issue under solve forces and velocity. That will generate this here, and now we have movement. Now we don't want these to just go straight up. We want to add some variation. So under velocity mode, we're going to change it from linear to in cone. And now they're going left. So under cone axis here, make the X 0 and the Z 1. Now they're going upwards, but they're going super slow. So under velocity speed, let's add a random range float. Random range floats are great at making the effects look more realistic as it adds more variation. Let's give the minimum a value of 2,500 and the maximum a value of 3,000. Now we got some particles shooting off into space, but they're not coming down. So let's go ahead and add a drag to the particle update, as well as a gravity force. And now when we watch the effect, they shoot up and then they come down, but they're living much too long. So under initialize particle, let's give them a random range float for their lifetime. And let's make the minimum 1.5 and the maximum 1.8. So now when we watch the particles, they shoot up, and right when they come down, they disappear, which is perfect. Under color mode, let's go ahead and set that to direct set, double click the white, and let's change the value to be an orange color. I'm gonna make the V here 2, and that will just add a subtle glow, which is nice. So now we are ready to link a trail. So let's go ahead and right click and add another minimal emitter. I'm going to hit F2 to rename it, and we can call this rocket_trail. In order to link these, under particle update here, hit this plus button and type in generate location event. We're getting an error, and that's because within the rocket node, we need to go to properties and check on requires ID. Now we see the rocket again. Yay! Now within rocket trail, hit the stage button and add an event handler. Under source, we can go ahead and select the location event, which is within the rocket. Now we want to change this mode to spawned particles, and I'm going to add 1. This will spawn the particles. So how much particles you want is how much you can put here. Now they're generating, but they're not following. So in order to do that, we need to hit this button here and type in receive location event. And now we see a trail is forming. Now I don't want these to be sprites. I want it to be a line. So instead of the sprite renderer, I'm going to check that off. And I'm going to hit this button and type in ribbon renderer. And so now when I play, we see a little ribbon. Let's go ahead and increase this thickness by going to initialize particle, ribbon width mode, change that from unset to direct set. And let's give this a random range float. I'm going to make the minimum 8 and the maximum 10. I'm actually going to increase this to 12 and 10. And now the ribbons are thick, but they're living for much too long, so let's give their lifetime a random range float. I'm going to make the minimum 0.5, and we can keep the maximum at 1. And now if you see the trail, it's not receding at a nice rate, it's jaggedy. So in order to fix that, under particle update, we can hit this plus button and type in scale. Select scale ribbon width, and then use this drop down menu to select float from curve. Let's select the keys by dragging and clicking, and then hit 1. This will allow it to ease in and ease out, making a nicer effect. And now when we look, we see the trail just getting thinner, which looks much better. Now let's go ahead and go back to our rocket node under initialize particle, and let's go ahead and copy that color by right clicking. Then we can go to initialize particle here, change the color mode to direct set, and then right click and paste that color here. And so now we've got a rocket with a trail. Now the sprites for these are too big for my liking, so let's go back to the rocket under initialize particle and let's add a random range float to the sprite size mode. I'm going to make the minimum 5 and the maximum 8. So now if I look at this again, we're seeing the streaks of the rocket shoot up, which is exactly what I want. Now it's time for part 3, the explosion. So go ahead and right click and add another minimal emitter or empty emitter if you're pre 5.5. Let's go ahead and check on requires ID since we'll be linking some trails to this as well. Now we don't want this to be linked to its location. We want it to be linked to where the particle dies, which sounds aggressive, but it's true. So under particle update, hit this plus button and type in generate death event. Such a scary name. And then within the minimal emitter, we can rename this. I'm going to call it flower because this explosion part just reminds me of a flower so much. So now we can go to this stage button, hit the plus button. What we did is when I added that generation death event, this has to be on the bottom or else it disappears because it's before the particle state. So now we have that back, thank gosh. So now we can go ahead and link it. So with the flower emitter, hit the stage button and select event handler. And then under source, we're going to select the death event for the rocket. And let's go ahead and change the mode to spawn particles and the spawn number. I'm going to make this 250. Now, the higher you make this, I think the more cinematic and beautiful the firework looks, within reason. If you're like a million, good luck with your computer. But if you were to lower this, I think that would be more realistic for a backyard fireworks show, you know, something that has restrictions and isn't as expensive. But I think that the 250 is a nice size firework, so I'm going to leave it at that. And once again, it's spawning at the bottom and we need to spawn it where it dies. So go ahead and hit that plus button under event handler and type in receive death event. And now when I hit play, we have the particles spawning there, but they don't have any velocity, so they're just all stationary. So under particle spawn, let's add some velocity. Go ahead and hit fix issues for solve forces and velocity. Let's change it from linear to from point. And let's go ahead and make this a lot bigger by adding a random range float and making the minimum 300 and the maximum 400. So now when I watch it, boom, but they're going way too far. So we need to add some more of those realistic updates under particle update. So let's add a drag and then add a gravity force. Now the gravity force is too strong. If I were to let it play, they would just fall super fast. So I'm going to just make the Z value -80. So now when I hit play, they just drop subtly, but they're looking good. Nice. So now under initialize particle, let's go ahead and randomize their lifetime with a random range float. Let's make the minimum 2 and the maximum 4. We can also do the sprite size mode. Let's go ahead and add a uniform to that and random range float. I'm gonna make it 25 by 30 for their size. So now when we watch it, that's looking good. I'm gonna add a color for now, but at the end I'll show you how to create it so that it switches from a red to a blue back to the red in an infinity loop, which will look quite nice. But for right now, I'll just keep it at an orange color. And that's looking good. I want to scale the sprites so that they shrink, they don't just disappear. So under particle update, type in scale and then select scale sprite size. And let's reverse this curve by hitting this button. Select the keys and hit 1 so they ease in and ease out. And that will just create a better visual effect of the embers disintegrating. So now instead of just generating a blank minimal emitter for the final part of this tutorial, I'm going to hit Control C and Control V of that flower, hit F2 to rename it. I'm going to call it flower _ trail. And we can delete some of these since it's not exactly the same, but I want to make sure the gravity force, drag, and some things match the flower exactly so that it doesn't look weird. So let's go ahead and delete the velocity, delete the scale sprite size. We can go ahead and delete the receive depth event. And we need to link this to our flowers. But in order to do that, we need to select our flower node and under particle update, hit the plus button and add a generate location event. And if the error happens, make sure the check is on for the IDs here. And now we can go back to our flower trails, event handler properties, and scroll down and under flower, select location event. Now we don't need 250 numbers since we're just doing trails, so we can set this to 1. And then we need to add the receive location event so it knows where to follow. Nice. And right now they're still sprites and I want it to be ribbons, so I unchecked that. And let's add the ribbon renderer. Let's go to initialize particle and change their width. Let's add a random range float. I'm going to make the minimum 5 and the maximum 10. Let's take a look at how this is looking. That's looking pretty good. Now they're living for too long, so let's go ahead and make this 0.5 and 1. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's looking good. Let's go ahead and copy the scale ribbon width, copy and paste it down here so that we get that nice easing out. Yeah, that's looking great. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and have fun with the color. Under initialize particle here, let's change the color from a solid color by going to color from curve. Now, first thing we want to do is change the opacity here to 1 so that it's a solid color throughout. And then since this is going to be a loop, I'm going to have the starting color and the finishing color match. Then I'm going to add some colors along here, and you won't see them change because I'm going to need to adjust this, but let me just add some colors first. Let's go to a nice red. We'll make our way to a pink, then a blue, and back to a red. Nice. So now in order to get this to change colors and not just stay at its normalized age, which is what it emits at, we need to select under this curve index, this drop down arrow, and type in normalize and select emitter normalized loop age. And what this will do is it will cycle through the colors for as long, if you go to this node right here, as long as this timeline is. So at 2 seconds, it would be approximately here. At 4 seconds, it would be here, 3 seconds here. But I think that's too short of a time, so I'm going to change the loop duration to 15 seconds. Then let's go back to here and let's copy this curve and let's paste it into our flower node. Go ahead and select color from curve. Let's make sure we copied that. Copy, paste. Okay, so we need to change the normalized age loop to normalized loop age. And now when I hit play, boom. Particles are having fun. Now let's go ahead and add this effect to our scene. I'll delete my old one. Delete and add the new one. I am so grateful to have started this channel this year, and for everyone who has subscribed and supported me along the way, thank you. I can't wait to create even more exciting content in 2025. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have an amazing new year.